Unmute. Okay. Do we have anybody on with us?
I don't think so, Judy. I think it's just me, just in case anyone pops on.
I can barely hear you. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't see any public.
Yeah, I can barely hear you, John.
Anyway, it just appears to be just me. So I'll be here just in case anyone pops on. I'll be here.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can barely hear you, so.
I don't know if it's the speaker here or.
Is the owl?
Yeah, I think the owl's on.
No, it's not. You're right.
How do we, John, how do we put the owl on?
Oh, no,
I
you know
think you
what?
have to
You're on
select the
wrong
camera. Is the
computer.
owl plugged in?
No, I'm
Oh,
on
this
the,
is town,
yeah.
because this looks like,
So you would click on your video.
Do what?
You would click on your video options, the video camera in the lower left hand of your screen.
Click on the video in the lower left hand.
there you go.
All right.
If there's a camera option.
No,
Oh, I think this power strip was not.
okay, try
I mean,
telling
at this point,
Hang on.
Success.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
He's still low.
But it ultimately, Judy, there's nobody online.
Okay, we won't worry about it then.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. I just clicked myself out. Okay,
Well, there you go. Now click yourself back in.
let's start chatting.
No, that's not what you want to do. Just close
Out
that.
of that.
Yeah, just exit on that.
Okay, I think we're still there anyway. Okay, meeting called to order at 7:04. Gonna change that font. Okay, roll call of members. Angie DeSanto. She said she wasn't gonna be here. John Kopek,
Here.
Paul Varga,
Here,
Christina Davis, here. Jesse Burnham. Well, that's right, I wouldn't be able to hear Jesse. Garth Bean. Esther Jagosinski. And Hugh McKenzie. Okay, and myself. So we have a quorum. I'm going to see Christina Davis for Angie DeSantos. You might want to back me up, John.
Oh. Another pen?
Hang on, I did.
Hello, everyone. This is Jesse. I just joined.
Hi, Jesse.
yeah, the audio is working.
Okay, we just called to order and we're seating people, so you're right on time. Okay, so Jesse is seated. Communications, I sent you guys some information on the ECS for 2024. They were concerned that it might change this year for us. It's not. They said it's harmless. It's a harmless provision and they voted on it. So as far as I know, there's no changes that'll affect Ashford until I hear anything different. But I forwarded that to you guys and the change for the adopted 2024 state budget municipal aid. What else did I have? Oh, and we'll get to Jesse with this up later. Public comments? Anybody? Comments? Okay, approved minutes of regular meeting for Thursday, May 11th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, Christina.
Christina, motion,
I'll second it. I'm pretty sure it was
Paul, second. Any discussion? Everybody good?
I was trying to find the copy I had and I can't find it, so I'm good.
It's online, it's online. Okay.
See?
Okay. Jesse, did you have anything you wanted to say about the minutes? For,
Honestly, I didn't even see him. I didn't see an email with him coming out.
okay, they're online. Alright. So I guess all those in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Aye. John, are you an aye or no?
I wasn't there.
No.
I'll abstain.
Okay, John abstains. Jesse, do you wanna vote on that, or do you wanna abstain, and we'll do it the next meeting, I guess, when you get a chance to look at it? Are you still there? Jesse?
think you lost them.
Okay, well, I'm gonna vote aye, so we'll have 3 in favor. And then 1 abstain with John, because we lost Jess. Motion passes. New business selectmen's update, he's not here. And then the ECS update, I spoke a little bit about that before. You guys have that information. We're not expecting any changes for Ashford that are harmful. And since I lost Jesse.
I'm here. I'm back. I had a phone call for work.
Oh, okay. So you came back at a good time, because we're gonna talk about the annual report.
Sure.
So if you wanna speak to what you have, what you don't have, you know, if you need help.
All right. So I tallied it all up and I sent an email to everyone so you would have the same information I have. But I'm just trying to. I think it's 11. I sent the email up, but then I closed it off my phone. So let me just pull it back up so that I have it. So I have 11 reports were sent in to me out of the total of 26. So it's about half of all reports have come in.
Okay, I'll reach out again. At least we got something this time, right?
Yep, exactly.
I'll reach out to Bill and Sherry.
So at this point in time, it's just reaching out and trying to get the report sent in.
I'll get mine and the fire marshals to you this week, Jesse. I
All right.
was, they should have been attached to our budget, but my guess is that things got lost in the transition between treasurers.
Okay.
So I'll get that taken care of. I'll hunt it down.
And likewise, our own Board of Finance annual report's missing too.
The bars,
Yes, hours.
okay,
Yeah, I don't wanna point fingers, but I do think that there may be like I said, a lost in transition thing going on. Because when I send my budget requests, I sent the annual report, so.
yeah, I thought we sent our, I thought I sent ours
I
in
thought I saw ours too.
real early.
So it's okay, we'll figure it out.
I'll see where it is.
I'll just
and
jot it
just-
down.
That's not
Okay.
a very good example, is it? All right.
Oops. Let me see if there's anybody else like who's on I can twist. Oh, that's it.
Oh, so I want to go back to. I'm gonna do this. I want to go back to communications and. Just have a slight discussion on last year's. Way that was scheduled, the. Referendum.
Okay. Go.
So, I don't know if that would be communications or public comments, but it's really not, it's just for discussion, it's not really a motion or anything. But just to get feedback, how everybody felt about the way we did it. Because, the way it was scheduled kind of put us all in a bad predicament. For, not having all the numbers, especially when it came to the insurance.
Yeah, and I think that that's gonna be a problem always.
Unless we don't do it at the same day.
Yeah, but I still don't think that's gonna fix the problem with not having some of those numbers, because I just got my actual insurance numbers,
Just now.
yeah.
That's-
Because see, my insurance, like for instance, in the fire department, the insurance renews in July. So we don't get those numbers till like the end of May or early June. So the best that I can do is go to the agent and say, what are we possibly looking at? And I mean. You know, we sit down and say, where are we at? Where do I think it's gonna be? And we use a number that probably, I think we were right on, but. But that's gonna be a problem for a lot of departments because it depends on where their insurance comes from.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
We're
what
kind of unique.
we gotta find out, exactly where we're standing as far as, we were told 20%. But then I was told like 15%, so we have to find out what exactly, I mean, cause that's a pretty good number,
Yeah,
and that was for the town and the school. So,
but there's a lot, and it's not just insurance either, like there's a lot of things. I will say that a lot of places now, vendors, I should say, have done better because they understand that most towns are on the fiscal year, July 1 fiscal year, so their budgets are due in April, May timeframe. So they're getting better about getting that information. But when you have things like a July renewal or an April renewal, it's pretty difficult. Some of them aren't, like insurance is a weird one too, because it's so market fluctuating. Where the other vendors, like our dispatch vendor, they know what, they have a projection of what they're gonna do, so they can tell you a pretty accurate number.
And doesn't the number change, like if an employee leaves
Correct. Well,
from the
remember,
town hall or from the school in July?
yes,
And that person happened to have 5 kids and they were all on the plan,
right,
that's gonna have a big impact, and that's not something that any selectman or superintendent can control for. So it is, at the end of the day, that's why it's technically an estimate, it's a budget estimate, it's not a.
yeah, but we estimated pretty high for,
Yeah, it's
but
kind
we
of,
didn't have a choice because we were in,
yeah, well, it's a big catch-22, because in cases like that, if you remember, like, we asked a lot of questions of the superintendent about the health insurance specifically. Because that seemed like it was a very large increase, but then when they explained it and why it's the town and the schools insurance was going up so much or possibly going up so much. To Christina's point, if two of those people leave and they get two different people who don't have any kids or whatever, that has a large impact on it. And we're a small town comparatively, so a small change has a big impact versus where you have a much larger town where two people leaving or coming and going has like a minimal impact.
Mhm.
You know, I don't,
It just seems like we could be more, if we could get the numbers sooner instead of relying on a certain date, like if we could get the numbers that were more accurate. Because I don't ever remember going through it like this, ever.
I remember that the insurance is always the one that always everybody.
It's a guesstimate, but not that high.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
that was really a high.
I think there's been a lot of insurance over the last, 6 years I always call it Obamacare, but whatever the insurance network thing has created a lot of fluctuations that the industry itself is still trying to deal with.
But are they on that plan? Yeah.
No, they're
It's
not, but that has an impact on it. You know, that's why like having, it sounds silly, but if one person gets sick, it has an enormous impact on everybody.
I understand that, we all have insurance, so.
Yeah.
What do you-
I don't know, I mean, the only thing I would say is that maybe we need to start sooner with talking to the different departments if we have questions. So that we're not asking them to make adjustments at the last minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it is getting all the information too.
Right.
And that was lax. You know, except for the school was like right on. I mean, they submitted their information early. Except for the insurance portion, but.
Well, they submitted it, but it changed. I mean, and to their credit, they came forward with it. I don't know, I mean, I submitted my budget, I can't talk about anybody else's because I don't receive them, so.
And then if you separate the two referendums, right, that's what you're saying, is
Yeah.
separate
Cost
the town,
and the,
school and Region 19. Yeah, you're dealing with the cost and you're also dealing with the possibility that because the turnout would be so much lower. Let's just
turnout.
split it.
the
That's
turnout.
what we used to do. It
Well,
all-
it's pathetic this time, but it would be even more pathetic if you split it.
We used to do it all the time that way, though.
Yeah.
It was never trying to get it on the same day, and the $3,000 versus what we. Thought we were gonna pay. Is. Peanuts.
Yeah, but I don't know, I mean. I would rather not spend the $3,000 because if the insurance goes up $3,000, then we just burn it for no reason. You know, if there's a legitimate reason or something happens where we can't get an accurate or even close to accurate number, or there's information substantially missing, or for instance, a few years ago where the state was dragging their feet with their budget, which by the way, they still finally might have passed it, I don't know. So that's another thing too, is that we're always waiting to see what the state does, always waiting to see what the state
Well,
does.
you see what the ECS said,
Right.
we just got the information
Right.
now. But, yeah, I would like to know,
That's a super.
I would like to know what the difference is, what we assumed we were gonna pay versus what we're actually paying. And then you see what that is compared to, spending $3,000 on a different referendum day.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
know,
have
I
those.
like doing it as one thing, because I think the turnout's already dismal.
No, I agree with Christina, I think
That's
it's
just
gonna
bad.
be even worse, but I mean, at the same time, we can't think about turnout and everything, we have to think about the taxpayer, that's what it boils down to.
Well, you know what, though, I'll be honest. We give them every opportunity to come to the meeting. And to go vote. And so that is, the turnout is the taxpayer, right? If they don't take the time to vote, because I don't think it's that important.
I just worry, I don't really care whether people vote or not, it's their choice. It's just, once you get into really low turnout, you run the risk of a referendum failing, just because people, you know, if you only have a small number of people, it can
Yeah, you go.
shift real quick. And then you run the risk of it being voted down, and then you have to go back again, and, you know, that's my concern with splitting it up. You
Yeah,
run the
it's a
risk of it
valid
failing.
point. It's a valid point, but like I said, I think we need numbers to see what the difference is. You know, if we want to be responsible. I mean, I felt bad that we didn't have all the information and, you know, John. Thank you.
So I'm curious what the dollar amount is going to equate to on that 5% savings.
Mhm.
So in my mind, if we have a separate referendum and it costs us an extra $3,000, but then we get those numbers and it's, you know, $100,000 difference or
Well,
something
yeah,
like that,
that
that's
is,
one thing.
right.
If we don't do it that way, then I don't think that money should go into the 1% fund.
Hmm.
I don't think you can control that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely we can. We don't have to put anything into that
We
fund.
can, as the board.
Oh, what we authorize.
Right. So what I'm saying is if we're gonna take that option, like, we don't feel like waiting for that number. But if it's a huge, massive number, that money is going back to reduce next year's tax burden because we overtax the citizens
Right,
instead of having the referendum second.
right.
So in that scenario, that money is not eligible above a threshold to go into that fund.
Hmm.
Because that's not really the spirit of the fund at that point.
Correct.
That would be my only thought.
That's accurate. That's actually extremely accurate.
Yeah,
And the other part of that too is that, and this is something we wrestle with every year, is the whole minimum. The MBR.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because then every time that happens, like, we keep sliding that MBR up and then.
yeah, but see, I agree with that. I think that's a great idea, but it's also the towns. You know, I mean, if you're gonna do it to the school, you have to do it for the town. So it's gotta be equal. It's not gonna be a,
Well, but the town doesn't have a 1% fund and the town doesn't have an MBR.
but there's other methods we can use probably for the town. But you can't just say that, you know, it'll be the school.
It would be up to the Board of Finance to make sure that the town doesn't then take that surplus and spend it.
Exactly.
We don't give them permission
That's
for
what I'm
that.
saying. There's,
We
Right,
say, no, that
that's-
money is held and put towards next year's taxes because we over collected.
and then we would, that would be the other method. We would control that part of it.
Right.
versus,
But that's like John said, the town has to come to us if they're gonna spend, if they need more funding for anything over X amount anyway.
Mhm.
So that's how you would control it.
Right.
Hmm.
Because they're the same insurance package too, they just share the package.
Right.
So the numbers should be the same.
Hmm. Well, let's see what we can get for numbers. I'll get in touch with Sherry and see what we had. Plan for versus what we actually are gonna pay. And see if I can reach out to the school to see what they have happening. Before we do anything, but it's just a discussion for now. Okay, agenda for the next meeting. So for the next meeting, we still have to keep on the annual reports. Like I said, I'll reach out for the insurance information. And this, for some reason, I'm thinking that. Maybe it was Kara. I'm just thinking that we reached out to either the tax.
Let me see if I can find anything.
Let me go back to last year.
Yeah.
So this one will be next
Oh.
week, and then we don't have them, right?
June.
Yeah.
In June. The first meeting in June last year, Kara gave a presentation regarding the grand list, but that's because we had a revow too, I think.
Okay,
There might
maybe
have
that's
been to
what's in my
discuss
head.
that whole thing. Let's see, and then this next second meeting of June. Apparently that discussion for the assessment was moved to the second meeting in June.
I have something waiting for me.
Oh, and then that was, Linda had the thing about the Caterwatt property, so that's what you were picked,
Okay,
but,
that's why.
so,
it's-
which no longer applies because the town now owns it, so. So.
Do we want to invite those guys in to talk about any of
You could reach out to them and ask them if there's anything they want to talk to you about.
it's kind of like, I'm tossed because I don't want to bother Linda because it's like she's.
Well, it's
prepping
that
for
starting,
July.
right.
But on
But
the
then
other hand,
maybe,
I thought it was
but you could
missing
just say, hey, we noticed that last year in June, we had some stuff that, is there anything that you needed to present us before July? If she says she's good, then done.
So all she really needed was what we did the last meeting with the new.
Yeah, she wrote the mill rate
The
stuff.
acceptance for the lower, yeah.
Let's see, July of last year, real quick.
They have something waiting for me in the, from the auditors that I haven't had a chance to stop by and pick up yet. I don't know if it's a bill or we have to renew them. I don't think it's time for the renewal, but I'll check on that. Anybody else have anything they want to discuss the next meeting? Interest or reach out to somebody? It's kind of the quiet time.
It's a good thing.
I
That other
know.
stuff.
So the next meeting is June 22nd.
I think so.
Is. Yes, should be, yes, that's what I have on my calendar.
Mhm. So it's two, yeah, I think we only do 2 months, I mean, two.
Two,
meetings a
yeah,
month.
second and fourth, but I don't know, I'm just looking at my calendar, I don't know if I'll be available for that one, the
Which one?
22nd.
The
22nd,
22nd.
To talk about.
All right, well, if anybody comes up with anything in between, that you'd like more information about, or you want to discuss why it's quiet, now's the time to do it, let me know, and we'll put it on the agenda for the 22nd. Okey-dokey. Okay, remarks for the head of the board. Thank you guys for coming. I know it's summertime and nobody really wants to hang out, but thanks for coming from Paris.
We still not on the phone from Paris.
Exactly, right? And, okay, we'll call it for adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, and a second.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Oh,
Look,
Jesse, I thought I made you
Jesse
help us
wins.
see. You want Jesse to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, Jesse second. All
Jesse's
those
gotta
in
speed up
favor?
on the truck.
Aye.
I-
All right,
Thanks, Jess.
Have a good night, Jesse.
Have
Be
a good
safe.
night.
take care.